Ahoy shipmates, welcome back to another episode of Dead Man's Chest. Okay, so as you can see, the diatoms have kicked in, the cycle has completed, all my levels are at 0 with the exception of nitrates, but they're dropping every day. Once the diatoms get really bad, I'm going to do a 50% water change because it's getting worse every day. So once the rocks are completely covered, I'll do a 50% water change, and then I'm going to introduce the first cleanup crew members. And in regards to cleanup crew, I'm not going to go crazy with this because it's a small tank, it's brand new, there's a limited amount of food for them, so if you stick in too much, you run the risk of them dying and starving, which then only just ends up creating more problems for yourself because you'll end up with dead cleanup crew polluting your tank. So I'm going to add maybe about 10 snails just to start off, see how that goes. If they're struggling, I may add some more. However, I think that's going to be more than enough just to keep everything nice and clean. So we'll see how that goes. But the cycle went really well. It took 4 weeks, which is pretty good going considering I used completely dry sand and dry rock. So yeah, it paid off to be patient. I can actually drop in a fair amount of ammonia into the tank. The very next day it's completely gone. So I know that there is a really strong, healthy bacteria population that's well prepared and ready for whatever I introduce into the tank. So it paid to be patient. And as all reefers know, patience is your best friend. You try to do anything too quick in this hobby and it's going to bite you in the arse. So whatever you do, no matter how much experience you've got, it definitely pays just to take your time. And just remember, it's the second mouse that gets the cheese. Okay, the first crew member is a zebra goby. He is really cool. My son really liked him. Unfortunately, he never leaves this cave, so he just grabs food as it goes past, but he is cool when we get to see him. Okay, next we've got a couple of clownfish. We've had normal clownfish, black clownfish, and we've had snowflakes. So this time we decided to get something a little bit different, and we picked these two little guys up and really happy with them. Absolutely stunning, and the white really looks good against the black background, and they kind of look like pirates, so very fitting for the Dead Man's Chest. Arr, me hearties! So anybody that's got an 8-year-old or kids in general will know that you have to name your fish. It's part of the parental rule book. So yeah, these guys will be getting named in future videos, but as of just now they've not been named yet. They're just the platinums. But yeah, we're really happy with them. Very cool. They kind of just hung out at this back area, but if we do get an anemone later on down the line, hopefully they'll go into that and we might see a bit more of them. Next up, we picked up this little guy, tail spot blenny. He is so cute, we just love him to bits, full of beans, full of character, and he just seems to have like all these little funny expressions. And this guy will be getting named. We've not named him yet, but we'll see what we can come up with. But he's really cool, and he's doing a fantastic job of cleaning up all the diatom algae on the rocks. Far better than any snail, to be honest. He's just a total workhorse for the size of him. He's very small, like, but he's just amazing. Really happy with him. We did want a blenny, something to help control the algae, but with it being quite a small tank, we didn't want to go for like a starry blenny or a lawnmower blenny, because you run a risk of them just dying with starvation and constantly having to feed them nori. So this little guy definitely fitted the bill and fits the tank perfectly. And although he's not the brightest in colour, he does have some nice markings on him. And he's just really fun to watch. and he never stops. It's just like a Dyson. He's just munching all the time. It's really cool. Okay, and as anybody knows me will know that Duncans are one of my favourite corals. Not only because they're really cool to look at, but they're a good indicator to if you've got any problems with your water quality. These guys will give you a clue. Okay, the pink hystrix, the bird's nest coral. One of my favourites, one of my favourite SPS because they're pretty simple to look after, and they're quite bulletproof, and I really like the nice pink colour that they give off, and the growth patterns, creating like a nice big ball. So hopefully this will fill that section. Next up, I added a pink Montipora capricornis. So nice shelving piece, and hopefully it'll grow out and help create a bigger cave. So it's just a little frag just now, but hopefully in time it'll fill out this whole section and expand out towards the front glass and make a nice, really deep cave, which will be really cool. It's hard to get the colours, but this is like the currently under the settings that I'm running the tank at is more blue, but in parts of the video I'm putting the lights more to white just so that it kind of films that bit better. But it's a really nice piece. I really like it, and I'm hoping it grows well. So I've swapped out the polystyrene for some marine pure plate, because the problem I was having when I was changing out the protein skimmer cap, as soon as I took that off, the protein skimmer would float up to the top, and it was just a pain in the backside. So I've swapped it for this, and this is doing a really good job, and the skimmer's working like a beast. Very happy with it, and considering it's like a discontinued model now, it's a fairly old skimmer, it's still working great. Very happy with the job it's doing. And my filter sock, you can see it in the back there. I'm currently changing the filter sock once a week because the tank's nearly that dirty, but once I get a bigger bio load in here, I suspect I'll maybe have to change the filter sock maybe twice a week. But it's very simple, so it's no big deal, so I'm happy enough to do that. So far, very happy with this protein skimmer. Now, the middle section, you'll see these cubes. Now, to save a few pennies, I thought I'll buy a heap of these cubes because they were cheap and use that to prop up my skimmer, but nah, it didn't work. The skimmer was just moving about all over the place. So in the end, I just had to spend the money and get the reef plate. But rather than waste this cubes, I've just stuck them into that section so they fitted perfect. So always a wee bit extra, so happy with that. The refugium, the Cheeto's not growing, but the nitrates are pretty much near enough zero, so that's why that Cheeto's not growing. Right, I've cleaned out the skimmer cup because just looking at the video I was thinking, Jesus, I need to empty that. So that's it nice and clean now. So yep, and I've put the light on the side of the refugium because it was just causing too much light spill before. So here's a wee look at the tank now. It's looking pretty good. I can't wait to get more corals and fish, like. But yeah, I'm just going to have to be patient. I've spent a small fortune this month. And thank you very much to my darling wife and my son for my Christmas presents. I love them to bits. So cheers, guys. So overall, I'm very happy with how the tank's going. Loving the new fish and corals. And this is what my current light setting's at, so it doesn't really look too good on camera, but it looks really nice in person. You'll notice the bottom overhang's been extended slightly. I've added a couple of pieces of rock here just because I've got a couple of encrusting corals that I want to add, and I just figured that these two locations would be spot on for it. So yep, that's pretty much it for this episode, shipmates. I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish you all the very best for next year. So happy new year when it comes. Have fun, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.